I'm Miranda Dunn, and I'm an intern here at the Walters Art Museum Conservation Lab. Conservation tasks conservators with the examination and care of historical objects and works of art. The Walters Conservation Lab is one of the oldest in the country. Let's go take a look. This is the Paintings Conservation Lab at the Walters, where I've spent my summer learning about paintings on canvas and paintings on panel. Let's go see what Eric's up to. Eric is the head of Paintings Conservation here. Eric, what are you working on?
Hey Miranda, I am in the process of treating this painting called The Cherry Picker by William Bouguereau, and it was painted in 1871. And I am thinning the varnish, and you can see over here that there's a discolored area, and this area is much closer to the way the paint originally looked when Bouguereau applied the paint. What I also have done is circled areas where on the painting there's active flaking. So I want to be sure to avoid those areas. And later what I'll do, after I've thinned the varnish and cleaned the painting, is I will go back to these areas where there's raised paint and apply some adhesive into the cracks, and then set those areas down with this little iron called a tacking iron, and just gently coax the area back so it's well adhered to the canvas so the picture will be stable. And all the while I want to make sure to document the pictures, so we document it with photographs and also with written reports. And all the materials that I'm going to be using will be reversible, so that in the future, should someone want to undo what we're doing, they can do that easily without causing any damage to the picture.
Sounds like a great treatment.
I hope it will be.
Next to the painting lab is the book and paper lab, where Abigail Quant works on manuscripts and books from the Walters collection. Let's go see what she's working on today. Hi Abigail, what are you looking at?
So this is a medieval manuscript that dates to about 1200, and it was produced in Austria. It's still in its original medieval binding, which is pretty exciting. It's entirely written and illuminated by hand. And this particular manuscript is a missal, which meant that it would have been used during church services. And it contains music. So it's actually not too dissimilar from missals that would be used today, of course, although the text is in Latin in this case. And there are corrections that were made over the course of probably several hundred years when the liturgy changed, and so they would actually scrape off a certain section of text or music and then rewrite whatever was the current text. The conservation of parchment manuscripts is a very particular specialty. There's not many people trained in this area of conservation, so I do a lot of teaching and lecturing, as you know, and it's a subject I'm very passionate about.
This is the Objects Conservation Lab, where conservators work on things from jewelry and ivories to swords and ancient Egyptian sculpture. Let's go see what Ariel O'Connor, Assistant Objects Conservator, is working on. Hey Ariel, what are you working on?
This is a hookah, or a tobacco water pipe, that's from the Ottoman Empire, which is in modern-day Turkey, but we think it was made between 1850 and 1900. So it's made with rubies and emeralds and turquoise stones, but the metal itself is actually a silver alloy. So what you see, it's a dark color now, is silver tarnish. But originally the silver had a gilding layer on it, so it would have been a beautiful shiny gold object. So when I finish the treatment, this little cleaning area you see here, which is a shiny gold, the whole object will be that level of clean.
Wow, what a beautiful object. This is the Conservation Science Lab, where conservation scientist Glenn Gates works with all the conservation departments and can run an array of tests to tell us a little bit more about what we're working on. Let's go see what Glenn's working on now. Hi Glenn, what are you looking at?
Miranda, I am looking at a paint cross-section, and that is a very small chip of paint that we've removed from a painting to look at all of the layers. It was removed to look at an area of restoration. It's a very small piece of paint. Here's one view with not much magnification, with a human hair to give you a sense of size. With much more magnification, we can see in the top layers of the paint here the areas of restoration that include chips of metal paint, which is on top of the original foil. So using a paint cross-section, we can discern what was original and what was restoration.
As you have seen, conservation combines many different disciplines: art history, studio art, and chemistry. Our goal as conservators is to take care of our cultural heritage so that it can be enjoyed by future generations. I hope you've enjoyed your behind-the-scenes tour of the Walters Art Museum Conservation Labs.